invest and make that money while you sleep. I'm gone.
What's good, what's good, what's good, family? It's your boy, the Wallstreet Trappin, man. Welcome to another episode of Trappin Tuesdays, man. God. What is it, 165?
165.
Man, 165 episodes, y'all. That means 165 Tuesdays in a row, plus a Thanksgiving, plus a few Christmases, plus a few other little, hey, let's pop up and do something for y'all here. It's in there, man. So before we get to the show, man, I truly want to come from my heart and tell every last one of y'all, thank y'all. Like, there is no Trappin Tuesdays without y'all. There is no Wallstreet Trapper without y'all. There is no Wallstreet looks like us now. It would be Wallstreet look like me now. And it's so much bigger than me. That's why it's a we, and that we turns into us. Jose, I feel like a rapper right now. You feel me? All right, so what I want to say is thank y'all so much, man, for, y'all know how Jose love it, like for watching us in the living room. If you watching us in the living room, make sure you tag me so I can share it. That brings so much joy to Jose's heart, right? And if you in the car, if you at work, if you cooking, make sure it's not, in the pot. But we love that because that means you are letting us come into your home for 2.5 and 3 hours. And at that point, we just family, fam. So before we get into the show, again, I just want to say thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we are truly humble and honored that y'all let us come into y'all life. Let's go. All right, so I like to start the show off with something real, like anchoring, right? And so today's message is truly inspired by my Patreon group, right? This message is inspired by them, man. And so I wanna say something right quick before we get into this message. I want to set the foundation to this message. I want to say that every setback is not to discourage you, but some setbacks are designed to align you. I want to start off with that. So every setback, right, in your mind, you think the setback is truly meant to discourage you, or you taking it as discouragement. But what I've learned is that sometimes we can be ahead of the mission, okay? So every setback, we often get discouraged by them because we looking so far ahead, not realizing that, I always tell Jose this, our best play is not in God's playbook. And what I mean by that, and let me give you more definition and more depth on that, is because our best play is based on what we see in front of us or the idea that we have in our head. And until we get in line with God and get on his playbook, our best play, our best move is never in his playbook. It's even the one we wrote out ourselves. But the truth of the matter is there is an ultimate playbook that if we align with it, we understand, watch me here, that these setbacks become the slingshot that put us in position. Right? So in the market, we call that a retracement. That's what we call that in the market. In the market, we understand that when the market pulls back, when the market retraces, when buyers start taking profits and sellers become the people that are supplying the market with so much demand. What I want to say to you is that there is a time in the market when the new investors get scared, but when the seasoned investors know that this is an opportunity. All right, so I want you to look at life this way. Like, I want you to look at life in the way that you say that, no, this setback is really just getting me back in alignment because I probably got ahead of myself. Right? Like when things going good, you start disregarding the risk at the pace at which you moving. Right? We've all been there. Like we see the market going green, we disregard that we can take some profit right now because the market has to do what? Recalibrate itself. So even in life, those same rules apply. That's why I love trading, because I can take these same rules and apply to my life. Listen, when things be going so good, we just disregard the dangers at the speed at which we going. right? So it's like being on an interstate, right? Like the mileage on the interstate is like you're supposed to be going 75. But because you on the interstate and you don't see no cars around you, sometimes you might amp that thing up to 99 or 100. You just want to test it, right? And then you like, hey, ain't nobody around. So now when you testing it, watch this. There's a reason that 75 is the limit. There's a reason. There's scientific data that once you pass 75 miles an hour, you actually become delusional as a driver. You don't see, watch this, the faster you go, the smaller the mistake that you have the ability to make. Right? So the faster you go, watch this, the small mistake actually intensifies the damage that you may incur. Come on, man. We digging deep right here. We digging deep right here. Let me make that make most sense, right? Like if I'm walking and I fall, the damage may not be as, I can be like, oh, damn, I hurt my knee. I'm all right, I can get back up. But if I'm running at full pace and I fall, I can actually break something. The chances of me breaking it is a lot more risky. Okay, let's dig into that a little more, right? So I had a friend of mine who loved being on motorbikes. And so one day he said, Free, man, you need to learn how to like get on a bike, bro. It's more thrilling. I say, hey, check this out. I'm barely good on four wheels. Like I can barely, like at this time, like my cousin used to laugh at me because I used to get in wrecks all the time, right? Like I done wrecked the Escalade twice. I done wrecked the 2 cars. I'm like, bro, I'm barely good on 4 wheels, let alone 2 wheels, right? And so one day he was on it. Here's what happens when you go so fast, you start loving the thrill. What happens is you start losing respect for the vehicle that you're using. Okay, here we go. Watch this. So because you moving at a fast pace in life, you start losing respect for the thing that's making you move at that speed. So then you start disregarding the peripheral vision, which is designed to keep you in safety. Right? So sometimes you could be saying, hey, I saw that in my peripheral, and it make you slow down. But what happened is you going so fast, you only see this way. So people be wanting tunnel vision. I don't want tunnel vision. I need my peripheral because it allows me to see things from a 360 perspective. So when you're going at a certain speed, when you moving so fast, and especially when things are going the way you want them to go, you're gonna revisit the fact that we disregard the small things. Right? We overlook things because we are getting, it's about to be good. We are getting intoxicated by the euphoric feeling of progress. Oh my God, that's it. We digging here, right? Because there's a euphoria that comes with making progress, right? Now watch this, progress becomes addictive. So then what happens is you start disregarding the things that you need to do to keep making, wow, this about to be good right here. You start disregarding the things or the steps that you need to keep applying to make constructive progress. You are now making destructive progress. What is destructive progress? It's the progress where you disregard the essential foundation that is actually needed, the infrastructure that's needed for you to be consistently moving this way. But also the infrastructure is designed for when anything goes wrong, you can brace yourself. So when they build the bridge, the first thing they do before they build the layers on the bridge, they build the infrastructure. The infrastructure is the pilings where they got to dig in the dirt, and then they got to cement the dirt, and then they got to build some cement walls around the piling, and then they actually put metal inside the cement wall so that the piling can stand up strong. That's the infrastructure that's needed so the accident is now risk averse of you being on the bridge. Infrastructure. So when you are making destructive progress, you don't have proper infrastructure. When you are making constructive progress, that means you are taking the moment, watch this, to slow down so you can build, so you can speed up. Oh my God. Okay, watch this. Let me dig a little deep because I think in that moment somebody who heard that, something touched you. So let me make it biblically for you, right? Because that's what I like to do, right? Because I think that the Bible helps us and the word helps us in every way of life. And no matter how you speak it, we can apply this. And so let me say something to you, right? Joseph lost his coat, but became the portfolio manager of a kingdom. All right? He lost his coat because the people around him envied his calling. So what they thought was putting him in the well and selling them was gonna help them accelerate. So if Joseph didn't have the right mindset, he would have looked at that as a setback. But what he understood was that was only a slingshot to put him in a situation to be in his calling. So what happened was the setback, watch this, your last setback was preparing you for the setup. That's it. That's it. And so the week before this, we talked about something that was real good. We talked about stocks and scriptures. Woo, there we go. There you go. So we can apply it to everything. So watch this. He became a portfolio manager of a kingdom. But the setback was what? A prerequisite. So if he never get in the well, watch this. Watch how everything aligns. And God is just so amazing. If he never get the coat from his daddy, he never draw the envy from his brothers. So the envy is needed because the envy from the people around you positions you for the thing that you actually called for. So then, watch this. He then exposes them to a dream that he had. So this is you. This is you telling everybody that what you're doing is going to change their life. Right? This is you telling the people closest to you, I got a vision, y'all. God told me to do this, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna be the first generation millionaire. Yo, I'm the one that's gonna take us out of this. I'm the one that's gonna change my family's bloodline. I'm the one that's gonna turn our last name into an asset. But you ain't realizing that the vision that you have is causing what? Envy. Because you talking from a calling, somebody else is talking to you and seeing you from chaos. They seeing you from confusion. So they see the vision that you saying, and you saying, yo, I want all of us to win. They saying, I want to be the one that makes us win. But that's necessary. Your code is necessary. Your code is necessary to get you where you got, because watch this. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm gonna go further a little bit. Watch this. Christ told Judas, hey, do what you gotta do and do it quick. Like, do what you gotta do and do it quick so I can do what I gotta do. So when you get the vision, it's meant for you to say it so they can do what they gotta do, so they can put you in a well. They think the well is stopping you, not knowing the well is slingshotting you. All right, so you gotta realize that the setback is really just a setup for your calling. So watch this. So when the market pulls back, when the market has a drawdown, I need you to understand that that's the best time to make the most money. See, you keep worrying about missing the opportunity. I always tell my people this, y'all. You cannot miss the opportunity that got your name on it. Earlier, before we got into this part, what did we say? The constructive what? Come on. You going so fast. You moving so fast. You are intoxicated by the euphoric feeling of progress. And so what we do sometimes is as we moving forward and as we going fast, we disregard the calling, because now we are now inside of our own physical flesh. Now we making our own decisions, and we do that. We get out of alignment with God. And that's why we say your best play ain't in God's playbook. So sometimes he pulled the rug back from under you so we can get back in alignment. So you gotta stop being discouraged, and you gotta say, this was necessary. I was out of alignment. This was needed. I was ahead of myself. This was needed. I was letting the Instagram comments put the crown on before it was my time. I was letting my family tell me I'm gonna do this and that before it was my time. I looked at my bank account and saw I would surpass everybody around me. I'm before my time. My business doing better than this person. So what happens is I gotta pull you back. Why? Deconstructive progress. So the last step is the setup. So the last step you made, it made you fall back. Why you had to fall back? You had to fall back because you was getting ahead of what? The calling. So you want to build wealth. You made a decision. Yep, I'm going to be the first generation millionaire. Cool, that's the calling. Right? But you got to stay in alignment with it. See, this is what I love. Like, I'm reading a book right now that called Leadership Principles of Jesus, right? And what I love about that was every time the people told Christ who he was, he stepped away from them. He's like, no. I can't let you tell me that. I can't, it ain't my, that's why when his mama said, he said, hey, man, it ain't my, what you doing? He kind of got mad with his mama, like, why are you doing that? It ain't my time yet. That's why when Peter said something to me, he said, hey, who told you that? Not flesh or blood told you that, bro. Calling. Hey, and the people, Hosanna. Hey, I gotta go. I gotta leave y'all right quick. I gotta go on the mountain. I gotta go pray. I can't let you put the crown on me before it's time for me to expose myself. I can't let you tell me I'm this, I'm that, because you speaking from flesh and blood. I gotta operate from spirit. I want you to understand also that being the first person in your family that changes your family, that's spiritual. That's deeper than just you. That's the calling. Because everybody in your family don't have the desire to turn their family last name to an asset. Everybody in your family don't got the desire to be the first millionaire in their family that's gonna change their family. Everybody in their family can look at what's going on right now and they're okay with it. The reason why you got that burning itch, the reason why you can't sleep some nights, the reason why you looking at the charts late at night, the reason why you looking at all the YouTube videos to build your business, the reason why you ordering all the books on Amazon out this world is because you got a hunger inside you. You got a fire inside you. God done gave you a same vision that he gave Joseph, but what happens is you keep letting the people tell you what you're gonna be. You keep letting the people decide. You keep letting the comments dictate how you feel about what you're doing. You keep letting the comments tell you if you failed or not. You keep letting the views tell you if you failed or not. You keep letting your friends let you know if you failed or not. You keep looking at the podcast and you judging your calling based on their calling. Every time you base your calling on their calling, you gonna fail. You gotta base your calling on your calling, the one that was told specifically and uniquely to you. So the last step is the setup. So the last step you take, it's the one that says, not step into your calling. For I have plans for you to prosper. I need you to understand that. For I gave you the ability to produce wealth. I need you to understand that. So tonight I want us to move into our calling while building constructive infrastructure. I want us to understand that the journey is not for the weak. The journey is for the vulnerable. Because the vulnerable, no matter how far they go, they're gonna revert back to asking God, what do I need to do? What do you want from me? I'm gonna consistently kill my flesh. I'm gonna consistently kill my ears. I'm gonna consistently kill my vision. I'm gonna consistently kill my heart, because that is the thing that makes me move at a pace that is not in alignment with you. So in this episode 165, we named this one, Your Last Step is the Setup. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Let's get to it, man. Let's go, Jose. How we feel, bro? Talk to me.
That's what we doing today?
What you talking about? Of course.
Man, feeling good?
Feeling good, dog.
Okay,
Loving how we feeling.
Man.
Loving that.
Look, again, I've been telling you, bro.
What?
Every day I wake up.
What's up?
I got a new ab.
What?
I'm trying.
How we go from that to this, bro? Tell me.
They know how we do.
Tell me.
I got a new ab. That's why.
Man, flush Jose, man. He ain't waste no time, man. Flush this guy, bro.
I'm getting flushed early though.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, you don't understand. I get DMs and everything. I motivate the people, bro. They be like, bro, talk about your abs, brother.
I don't think nobody tells you that.
I get 2.
I don't think. Flush him again, y'all. Flush him again.
I get 2 or 3.
Flush him again.
You know what I'm saying?
Turn my toilet up.
Shout out to everybody on their health journey.
I'm on mine too, bro, but I don't be looking.
You don't look for the ab? Bruh, you don't look. Stop.
I don't.
Okay.
What?
That's how I know I'm winning. Results is the best drug.
Well, it is, but let me just leave that alone. Let me just. Now y'all see what I gotta deal with this dude, bro.
Yeah.
How you feeling? I'm feeling good, bro.
Nah, it is
Trappin'
good.
Tuesday, bro.
It got a little cold out this morning, though.
It was a little nippy in these Atlanta streets. You feel me?
Yeah.
All right. Let's shout out our people right quick, man. Rams, I see you, brother. Nettie, I see you, love. That one guy, I see you. Cash Flowings, I see you. D is creating, I see you. Mac, I see you. Shazam X, I see you. Carolina Blue, I see you. Thavion, I see you. Rams Fitness, I see you. Mac Simmons, I see you. Nate the Great, I see you. Nettie, I see you. I see y'all. Man, I see my people in the chat, man. I see my people in the chat, man. Uncle T, I see you. Who else we got in the chat, man? Larry Morgan, I see you. Black Phoenix, I see you. Chopper Fellas, I see you. OG, I see y'all, man. The Patreon people, I see y'all in the building. Stephanie Davis, I see you. Square Biz, I see you. Lena Edwards, I see you. KT Tactical, what's up, man? Hollering at our people, Jose. We got it. Oh, it's going too fast. No, I can't see. My eyes hurt. I
don't know how you catch them anyway, for real.
I be trying, bro. You guys show our people up. Miss C, I see you. I see y'all. Man. All right. So this week on the show, we got a couple things we're gonna talk about, Jose. We gotta talk about gold. Had a big sell-off today, and that scared some people. Shout out to my brother Cheesy Bread. I see you. Dancing Diamonds, I see you. Okay, that was random. All right. E-Will A9, I see you. That was random. All right. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about some things Trump doing in the Bitcoin world. We won't really break down the VIX. I think that's important. And today I want to go through like some psychology and emotional standpoints in trading. So I want people to see that because I think it's important as we move on, bro, and as we get into this year. And there's some things that's on the table. China, Russia, Ukraine, food stamps being cut, government shutdown. We got some dope stuff to talk about. I'll really get into what's called a debasement trade. I want to talk to them about that when we talk about gold. So there's some things we want to talk about, bro. So let's get to our mantra. And let's do it. All right, let's get to our mantra, man. Got a good friend of mine in the building today, B. Simone. What's up, love? If you ain't never heard the Let's Try That Again podcast, go get that. Go listen to that. Go download that. She definitely gonna have you crying. She definitely gonna have you laughing. And you will adopt the word Jesus. 100.
You gotta say it just like that.
And if you don't say it like that, it ain't came from the spirit.
Right.
You hear me?
Got to.
You got to.
Gotta say it with your chest.
Shout out to my girl, man. I love her so much. Love her so dearly, man. You know what I love about you, B? Like, your spirit. I think that people who don't know you, like the one thing that social media does is people can take a clip about a person and they judge everything about a person behind that. But because I've had like the privilege and honor of like knowing you, learning you, calling you my sister, I just feel like, man, like, when I see it, I'm just like, yo, like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And also, like, I don't think people realize, like, you didn't ask for that spotlight. Mm-hmm. Right? You were just being you consistently. Mm-hmm. And then God presents you with opportunities. And you can't miss an opportunity that God got your name on. And so you take advantage of these opportunities because it's moving your career. They don't know the sacrifices you had to make, or anybody in the limelight. They don't know the sacrifices you make to get where you gotta go at. And they also don't know that none of us ain't perfect. Mm-hmm. The difference is you get to see mine because you judging me by how many followers I got. And because people take things from me and they put it out there, you get the privilege or the luxury of judging me, and I don't get the luxury of looking at you make your mistakes not on the camera like that. I don't get that luxury. Wow. And here's the dope part about it. Even if I did, because I'm seeking God so much, I still wouldn't judge you. Yeah. Because I know all the mistakes I'm making in the light. Oh, Jesus. My God. Wow. Jesus. Oh. Huh? Come on, see.
You gotta
Come on, bro.
Reach for
So
the
I just
Holy
want to tell
Spirit.
you, love,
Wow.
like, keep going.
Thank you, Chad.
You feel me? Like, keep going. Like, keep being bold enough to make the mistakes in real time.
Yeah.
See, that's what I look at, Jose. Like, you know, one of the things I love about our show, Jose, is I love the fact that, so, you know, we do the portfolio. We put that up every week. One of the reasons behind that is we let people see me losing money in real time. That's something nobody does. And I did that intentionally because there's a lot of people that only show wins. They only show, I'm making this much money. Because they want you to join this and come do this. And bro, like, when you ever lose?
Right.
And I'm not saying we don't go on winning streak, because I done went on a winning streak where I'm like 15, 16, 20 trades in a row, they hitting. I'm like, the whole portfolio just green for 90 days in a row. It's hitting, right? But then there's a red day. And when that red day turned to a red week, then turned to a red month. And now you're just in a red season.
Mm-hmm.
Now I ain't even talking about stocks no more. What happened when you're just in a red season? But watch this. You still got to show up every day like you did in the green season. You got to show up every day in the bear market like you showed up in the bull market. And the problem is most people can't deal with that. They don't know how much strength it takes to show up and get in front of that camera and still, watch this, still serve you while I'm in the red.
Ooh.
I still gotta serve you while I'm in the red. I gotta serve you while I'm in a bear market to make sure you still get a bull market. Okay, let me make sense for people that ain't traders. I gotta show up in my most painful seasons because my calling says I gotta disregard what I'm going through to make sure I still pour into you, to make sure you step into the thing that you called to do. That's the thing that's hard. Everybody can't do that. So when I see people going through stuff, like I be like, ooh, because here's the thing I tell myself, it's only a matter of time before it's me. Which is why I understood why Christ didn't let people put the crown on him before it was time. Because there will be a day where I gotta die for all y'all, and I don't know if y'all will die for me. Wow. So I can't let you prematurely let you put the crown on me before Big Dog told me it's my time to let him know, hey, let him know it's time. So love, man, keep showing up. Keep putting it out there. They need to see it. They need to, you know, I'm gonna get into the show. I was looking at, like I like Gucci Mane. Right? Gucci Mane is just a real, you know, he come from it, bro. So I like Gucci Mane. Even in that time, I never picked like between Gucci Mane and Jeezy. Like I understood it. But I listened to this show on the Breakfast Club and I'm looking at so many people find a reason to talk bad about this woman. Our people. Oh, I don't like when she did this. Oh, I don't like when she did that. And in my mind, I said, hey, we not even realizing that we looking at a woman who said, yo, I supported my man through schizophrenia. Like, we ain't even looking at, she's saying, nope, I protected my man from being on social media because I know how harsh y'all is and I know how it triggers him into going to episodes. And I would rather y'all not see him like that than y'all judging when he go through an episode. So she's saying all the things that she did. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, this is a good lesson for women. There's also a good lesson for men. Because what he had to do was, he had to actually say, hey, I'm gonna let my wife control this right here. And one of the things we as men have a hard time doing is saying, hey, I'm gonna let her control. In this area, she got the knowledge, the database, the emotional strength, and the foresight to handle this. So he's strong enough to say, hey, I'm gonna let her hold this. Boom, right? And I know she gonna do the right thing with it. So she gonna help me help us. Oh my God. We not looking at that. We looking at, oh, I don't like her cheeks. Bro, what the hell? What I gotta do with you? Again, it's easy if they don't know the strength it takes to show up in the light because we don't have the luxury of looking at you in the same light. I remember when Chadwick was sick, right? He was sick. Like, I ain't thinking of nothing. I'm like, oh, in my mind, I thought he was filming for another film. I'm like, all right,
getting ready.
He about to get ready. Because we see him do it all the time. They gain a bunch of weight, they lose a bunch of weight. I'm like, oh, he probably getting ready for another film. And he gonna crack our head. Now I realized the man had cancer. And then when he passed away, he's like, oh, man, no. Watch this. And this done turned into a church almost. Watch this. What the word say? Hey, before you try to get the speck out your brother's eye, go and get that log out your eye. And that's just simply saying, before I got the opportunity, before I even fix my tongue to judge somebody else, bro, let me judge myself for all these flaws that I got. Let me look at all the stuff that I'm doing wrong that people don't get to see, but because I'm in the limelight, they get to see me. All right, let's get to the show. My bad. I just was in that. Because I see my sister right here, man, and I know.
We was about to bring the music in and everything, but it's good. We straight.
I just know, bro.
Yeah.
And they don't be knowing what it take for a mug to show up every day, bro. And you ain't even asked for that, bro. You just got up in the world and just was authentically you. Like, hey, this is what it is. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm popping off at. I do it. Oh, man, you don't know what you're talking about? Yeah, I'm not right. Cool. When I make $4 million, you ain't know where to be found.
Right.
I make $4 million, I make 150 in the play, it's, oh, because you got money. I lose 100,000, you don't know what the hell you doing. You make $7 million, oh, that was lucky. Bro, pick a side. Or just watch, admire, learn, keep going. All right, let's get to our show, man. My bad, I'm gone. I could be that forever. I could be that forever. Man, I love you, man. Keep going, man. Keep going. All right, man, let's go, man. Let me put my glasses back on before George try to take these. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. I'm confident in my ability to make great investments. The stock market is a machine that prints money, and I'm more than capable of operating this machine. Not only will I free myself, but my family will eat for a lifetime based on the information I apply today. I'm a money maker and a wealth builder. Today, I break all the chains that anchor me to that poverty mindset. My ancestors will smile now because I've turned our last name into an asset. My family's purchasing power will increase indefinitely. Today, I make the declaration that no longer will I be a slave to money. No longer will a generation behind me inherit lack. No longer will I submit to selling my time for money. I am a first-generation millionaire. I am the architect of my family's legacy. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. And Wall Street looks like us now. Let's go, man. All right, where we at, Jose? Talk to me. All right, so before we get into this right here, what I want to do is I want to talk about something right quick. My Patreon inspired me for a couple of things in the group today, right? And I love them so much. But I also understand that there's a lot of new traders in the group. And so because there's a lot of new traders in the group, I want to get to something right quick. Before we get into the portfolio and the other things, I want to talk about something right quick, and this is the VIX. And this is a volatility index. So it measures volatility today for what's coming out in the future. So I want to run this video right quick, and then I want to break this down to y'all. Show them this right quick.
Wall Street has a fear meter. It's called the VIX, and right now, institutions are watching it like hawks. When retail traders check prices, Goldman Sachs checks volatility. Here's the pattern they've exploited for decades. When the VIX spikes above 30, markets are terrified. Above 40, pure panic. March 2020, it hit 85. Think of the VIX like a cardiac monitor for the market. Normal heartbeat sits around 15 to 20, but when it spikes to 40 or even higher, the market's having a heart attack. But here's what's insane. That's when Warren Buffett go shopping. Since 1990, every single VIX spike above 40 marked a generational buying opportunity. Every single one. October 2008, VIX hit 89, S&P bottomed. March 2020, VIX hit 85, Bitcoin bottomed at 3,800. The pattern is perfect. While everyone's selling in terror, institutions are setting limit orders. Fear is literally quantifiable. When the VIX breaks 30, start paying attention. Above 40, that's when generational wealth gets made.
All right, so here's why that's important. And so for me, we know the average range of the VIX is between 14 and 18. And then between 19 And to me, it's like 22. That's when I really started just watching, like, okay, we've had a little spike. And I think it says something here like once it get past 30, the markets are actually like really, really fearful. And then you match that with the fear and greed index. So why am I saying this to us, right? I want us to understand that like when the market is pulling back, that's when you see like a 5, 8, 10% drawdown. That's a real pullback. Anything less than that, like 3%, I'll be honest with y'all, that's just the market trying to find recalibration off of a serious run-up. So we look at days like today, and we look at days like maybe like last week. I think we had a 3% pullback when week before last, when Trump talked about no deal with China, right? That was the market in fear, and we saw the VIX spike by, I think, 21%. Right? But then if you look at the markets month to date, meaning from the beginning of October to now, actually the S&P and the NASDAQ is up like 1%. So October is just it's not as bad as you think it is. But also what happens is, of course, individual stocks will be impacted differently. We know that, we understand that. That's part of the process, y'all. Like, all stocks don't operate the same just because the market is up. You know what I'm saying? But you do know that Apple is up, but NVIDIA is down a little bit, right? Or NVIDIA is moving a little bit. It's down compared to where it come from, which is all-time high, right? We saw gold come down a little bit. All right, cool. It fell 5% today. That is actually a pullback, right? It fell 5%. That's an actual pullback. So now you got to ask yourself this question. Here's the question I want you to ask yourself, right? Okay, gold pulled back after hitting an all-time high. Well, it pulled back the other day after hitting an all-time high. What do you think great assets do after they hit like extreme all-time high? You got to remember, gold is actually outperforming every index except for probably Bitcoin, right? But didn't Bitcoin pull back heavy the other? Why? Like, this is a part of the process. And what you got to stop saying to yourself is, man, I should have took profit this day. You ain't no fortune teller. And sometimes, watch this, bro. Sometimes the candles don't always tell you that a pullback is about to happen. Not every time. Yes, in certain cases it do tell you that. But a candle not going to tell you what Trump about to say. A candle not going to tell you about a news headline about to come out. Right? So these are things that happen that catch us off guard, and we got to be willing to say, all right, say less. This is how I adapt. This is how I adjust. Not, man, I should have did this. And the reason why, because if you adapt the mindset of what you should have did after something happened, that's gonna be the residue that stick with you as a trader. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna make you second guess positions that you should have been in, positions that you could have stayed in, positions that you could not. If you know you being greedy, different ball game. Like for me, last week we saw the gold play we was in was up 250%. I said, hey man, let me take some profits off this play. So I sold half the position. And I used the profits from that play to get me another. I already knew, like, hey, I'm getting I actually, after it hit 100%, I was like, hey, we being greedy right now. But it kept taking off so fast, right? And so what we got to do as investors, y'all, is we got to understand that this is part of the game. And I kind of told my people in a group today, I said, this game going to eat puppies every time we get a chance. It's a big dog game. It's a big dog game, and every time a puppy try to get in the big dog game, it's gonna shake you out. But it's just like real life. It's just like building a business. Go ask an entrepreneur, like, what was it like when they had the vision, and what was it like once they start really, watch this, putting capital into the vision? Man, they're gonna be like, bro, this is some of the hardest stuff I ever did in my life. I don't sleep some night. You trying to hire people, you trying to build the brand, you trying to get more exposure, you're trying to build systems, you're trying to build operations. Bro, there's moments where you in that, and then there's moments you like, dang, bro, God. And there's always, watch this, there's always something around the corner that you didn't expect. Same thing with the market, man. Same thing with life. The biggest, let me change this word I'm about to say. The greatest tool you can have in life, in business, investing, and spirituality is resiliency. Your ability to endure hardship and keep going. That's resiliency. Your ability to endure hardship, your ability to endure your ability to be Joseph in the well, your ability to be Joseph in prison, your ability to be Job when everything is taken away from him, your ability to be in the well, your ability to be Christ on the cross. Because he told us what? You got to carry the cross with you every day. So what I'm just saying is the resiliency, but also, watch this, having the mental and spiritual fortitude while you enduring the hardship to also look forward. Oh, that's it right there. Everybody want to be in the market while the market is green, but when the market turn red, everybody hate the stock now. Oh, man, I hate the market. Oh, man, I hate crypto. Oh, man, I hate real estate. Oh, man, I hate freedom. You know why? Because your ability, you gotta, and I tell my people all the time, until you build up that fortitude, use mine. What? So one of the things that's also important to you is being around people that have endured the thing it is your first time enduring. And the reason why is because they can help you navigate the desert. They can help you navigate the wilderness. This is why Moses was so amazing. He had already been in the wilderness before. He already navigated that terrain before. And so because he navigated that before, watch this, God can trust you. Hey, go get him out of Egypt, bring him out there. But watch this, he still got to work on the leader while the leader in the wilderness. He still got to work, watch this, he still got to work on Moses while Moses bringing them through the wilderness. Why? Because there's some residue in Moses from who he used to be. Moses was a killer. Moses had anger issues. So Moses, I'm not just working on him for 40 years, I'm also working on you. Because I know you'll kill somebody. I know you'll get mad and strangle somebody. I know you'll get mad and beat somebody with your own bare hands. That's the residue of who you are. So I got to work on you as well while we in the wilderness because they going to piss you off. They new to me. Oh, my God. Stocks and scriptures was the best thing we could have came up with, dog. I'm telling you. So I need you to understand that, yo, these little downturns, these little pullbacks, these little things that get you squirming when the market ain't going the way you gotta go, yo, that's just a setup for something greater. It's just time to reposition. It's time, also, it's gonna help you shake the residue of what's in you so you can get rid of that, so you can get where you gotta go at. So if you panicking with 10,000, I know you're gonna do with 100,000. If you panicking with 100,000, I know you're gonna do with 1 million. So these moments prepare you for what's greater. So when I was able to lose the 1 point, so mind you, let's give me a round of applause right quick.
Let's go.
Right, we gotta show them that too. But when I took a realized gain in April of 1.5 million, bro. My biggest loss to date to that time was probably like 300,000, 400,000. You shake that up, you be like, all right, cool. But here's the thing, I had been telling us, hey, you gotta lose 10,000 to make 100,000. You gotta lose 100,000 to make 1 million. You gotta lose 1 million and make 10 million. You gotta lose 10 million to be willing to make 100 million. And so you looking at me like, bro, you done lost your damn mind, lose 1 million. But it all stemmed from, I remember watching, I keep saying it, Bill Ackman, the man lost $400 million on a Netflix play. 400 million. But guess what? Prior to that, he turned 20 million into 2-point-something billion. So what that mean? He had built up the fortitude to do it. So me, I'm like, oh, we 1.5? All right, bet. Don't get me wrong. That's the first time I ever been there. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, bro, like, God. Give it to me. But watch this. The whole while, Jose, I kept saying, hey, I'm getting out of this. Before the year end. I said, hey, bro, I've never lost 1.5 million. Jose, I'm getting out of this before the year end. It's April. I got May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. If I can't get out of this hole in 8 months, I don't need to be doing what I'm doing. So people gonna be like, well, you should have never lost. Well, go tell a man who lost 400 million that, because I know you ain't better than him. Like, because again, people have the luxury of looking at me because I show it all the time. I don't have the luxury of watching you take them silent L's. I don't have the luxury of watching your portfolio every day while you take the L's that you don't talk to us about. But you come in the comments, you come into the chats and tell me what I should be doing when you ain't never even managed how much money I'm managing. But guess what? I'm not mad at you. Because I wouldn't waste my time telling you what to do if I can't give you constructive criticism or if I've never been in the position to do the thing that you're doing. Now, if Warren Buffett and them come tell me, hey, Trap, this is what you should be doing, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm listening. I'm all ears. You know why? Because you've exceeded what I'm doing. Because here's the thing. It's not even the skill set when you get to a certain level. It's the emotional fortitude that you can take to press that button when you got to put 100,000 on the line, when you got to put $500,000 on the line, when you got to take that button that says sell and it says $1.5 million loss. You got to look at that thing in the face every day and say, hey, bro, that's a big ass L. And then be bold enough to say, not only am I going to get it back, I got to get it back before the year out. And at the same time, I got to get my people in a group their money back. Pressure. Practice. We talking about practice? Nah, fam. Talking real money. But guess what? As of today, it's what we do. And so now when I tell you my resume, it's like, hey, we made $2 million the first year. We made $4 million the next year. The same year we made the $4 million. We took $860,000 from trading that we documented and showed y'all, purchased a building on. Come back, was up $500,000 by February. By April, we down $1.5 million. And here we are, October, we up about 80 grand right now. That's a hell of a resume, bro. That's a hell of a resume. And on top of that, made a couple people millionaires. On top of that, made a couple people 106 figures. On top of that, helping people make their first 10,000. On top of that, helping people make their first trade. On top of that, building a business. On top of that, dealing with a leaky roof. On top of that, hiring people. On top of that, dealing with some personal issues. On top of that, building your relationship with God. Listen, you gotta have the resiliency to play the game on all fronts. So we don't have the luxury of looking at you in the dark. You have the luxury of looking at me in the light and saying, hey, this is how I get better. And so for me, that's what it's all about. It's all about, I don't gotta hide nothing from you. I want you to see it so you know at some point, if you really wanna be great, you gotta experience it. Because history don't always repeat itself, but it does often rhyme. Let me get off that rant, Jose. All right, so the next thing I want to show you before we get into this, the next part is like the heartbeat of the market. So we talked about the VIX and the cheat code to generate. I want to show y'all this right quick, right? And this is important for y'all to see this VIX, like, so you can see it and understand how you moving with it, right? And so if you look at this, the VIX, the VIX, it'll show you, when people are calm, when people are greedy, when people are normal. This is the indicator that sets people up. This is also the indicator that eats people alive. Right, so as we see that and as we motion into that, I want you to say, Jose, they see it? They said that's the VIX. Yeah. They see that? All right, cut that out. You do your edit. All right. And so that's what makes this so important, man. So let's move a little forward right quick, man. All right, so watch this. When progress beats perfection, so this, and then we're gonna get into the rest part of this, right? So the United States stock market has endured 17 recessions since 1900, yet still delivered an annualized return of approximately 10%. So this tells us that long-term wealth creation doesn't require economic perfection, it just requires progress. So what that means is, and I keep telling us this is, bro, like, stop trying to be perfect, just get in the market. So what if we're gonna get a 10% pullback? Guess what that means? You get to get assets on sale. Just like you like shoes on sale, just like you like clothes on sale, just like you like You know, TVs on sale. You keep buying the same TV every Black Friday because it go on sale. You don't need that TV. Just like when Apple tell you to upgrade your phone, you upgrade it. You really don't really need a new phone. And all you're really getting is a new camera that you barely even use. So, I said this before, I'm gonna say this again. We need to be buying more assets the next 3 years because we know for a fact that the person in office is all about building personal wealth. I want you to put your diplomatic reasons to the side for a second. Right? Once you make a vote, you've done your civic duty. Right? Anything that happens after you make your vote, it ain't got nothing to do with you. So you made your vote, your person win, yep, hoorah. Your person lose, yep, hoorah. Let me get to it. Your goal is to understand whoever's in office, what are they doing, what systems are they putting in place, what rules are they putting in place, so you can navigate, not just for yourself, so you can help your family navigate for the next 4 years. And over the night, we're gonna talk about how this dude is the biggest crypto owner right now. We talked about last week how his youngest son, something we said a couple weeks ago that we know for a fact his family put him in, told him about crypto because he's 70-something, almost 80. He don't care about no crypto like that. Right? He's a real estate man. Right? But we seen that his youngest son has a net worth of about 150 million right now at 19 or 20. Right? Because we understand it. Right? 19 years old, son of the president, got a net worth of 150 million, surpassing that of his siblings. So he got more money than his siblings. Because he understood, hey, Dad, this about to be the wave. Let's push laws for this. While even the Trump's family overall crypto holding is now 1.5 billion. What happens is, and this part of family SOPs, the younger generation actually sees what's coming before the older generation. Why? Because they're a part of it. You kind of disengage from it. So what happens is we supposed to be putting in moves. We still supposed to be listening to what the younger generation is saying about what's going on, but we also got to put them in position to understand what wealth really is. So I'm going to ask you this question. Are you really putting your family in position to see what wealth really is? Or are you the only one with the information? So therefore, everything starts and stops with you. And if everything starts and stops with you, guess what? You are only one single person away from failure. Because if nobody can back you up, then when you fall, the whole thing falls. You building a house on sand, not rock. All right. I'm going to get off that. Let's go a little further, Jose.
All right, man. Let's get to the money, man. You already know for a fact, bro. Is my thing on? I'm on. All right, man. You know for a fact, man, the people got to see the money, man. You know, we ain't never hide Nat, Jose, and, bro. Man, I got in a play today, man. Punch me in the face, you heard me? All right, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. All right, first and foremost, man, we got to go through it, man. We got, that's the wrong part. When you need it now? Am I off? No, you on. All right. All right, so let's go, man. First out the gate, listen, man. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm kind of getting punched in the face right now. But I'm not mad because yesterday I had an explosive day for like 200, you heard me? So let's get to it, man. So this app loving play is kind of pissing me off because they had some type of lawsuit or something came out about them, but something they doing wrong. So they got that punched me in the face again today. AVGO took back some money today. Costco, I don't know what the hell going on with that. So I'm losing money right there too. And this GEV play, bro. This play I'm not gonna lie, bro. They got earnings in the morning, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. This play smacked the piss out of me because I was up about 40 grand on this play. They got the downgrade and it wiped it out all at one time. So it just ain't never shook back. So that play kind of pissed me off. Then we had a gold play in. Now, this play is up 230-some%. So I was up like 100 and something thousand. So I sold like 3/4 of this play, then took some bread out from them profits and got in this gold play, the second gold play. Then gold sold off today. So that kind of punched me in the face right now. We blooded right now, y'all, and I don't even know why. Like, I'm on my top. The good news is everything expires in January and March. So we'll navigate that. All right, so Goldman Sachs let me down right now. Meta let me down right now. Let's go a little further, man. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Like, I'm getting punched in the face right now. Really getting punched in the face right now. But you know how I get down. It ain't the first time I've been in a situation like this. Also, you know, we took profits on a lot. So we had some big profits that was up. So, you know, that's part of the game. But let's go a little further, man. So next, what's our next slide? We got the MU is still killing it. That Netflix play is about to be dead because they just missed earnings. That sucker just fell, so that's going to be negative, but that's a March play. And then you see this October 24th. So here's what I did. I did a little small $20,000 on the Netflix play, 1260, and I'm talking about, gosh, smoked, y'all. Now, I went into Patreon and told them don't follow me, but, you know, they don't be listening to me. You know, I told them, I said, yo, this is not a technical analysis play. This is because I feel like the boxing match, because then they had like, but maybe that's going to be on the next earnings call. But I thought because it was in October, it would have been on this call. So I thought the boxing would have helped them out, but they missed revenue. God damn. So they got smoked at $70. So that smoked me. Palantir not rocking. Q still holding up. The silver played down. Shout out to Spotify. They got earnings November the 4th, so they kind of shook back on that call. They shaking back. So let's go a little further. Tesla, United Health, and Visa. So that's what I got at the end. So yeah, we're a little bloody right now, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. You know, we got a little blood flowing up in there right now. You know what I'm saying? But again, not mad at it. Yesterday we had a killer day. I had a killer day yesterday. Was able to take a few profits off of some places and position myself. I think right now I'm sitting on about $600,000 in cash. I was about 80 grand to the good for the year. I'll show that. So now I'm probably about 50, 60, something like that, because Netflix just punched me in the face with that one. So they down right now probably about, let me see. Sheesh, they got smashed. $57. So we'll see what they do. They down $57. I kind of told my squad, you know, don't try to jump in that play. We do got a play we in, but I'm never in a hurry to jump into a play that's miss earnings. You know what I'm saying? Like the last time we got on the play, they didn't miss earnings, they didn't miss earnings, they didn't miss revenue. So I was cool with that. Just had some slow estimates. You can always shake back from that. But when you miss our earnings, I kind of gotta look at you a little different, you hear me? But you know, here we go. You know, I'm gonna tell you something about me, man. Like, we navigate through it. We're gonna show y'all the red, we're gonna show y'all the green. You know, I came on here 1 week and the thing was all red. I came in 2 weeks later, the thing was all green on both sides. It happened, yeah. So let's go, man. Let's go a little further, man. Let's get to that freedom index, man. God damn you, Netflix. I be having so much respect for you to do me this, you hear me? Sean, I'm still in AJG. Still in that joker, man. Costco up, CrowdStrike up, CVLT up, Goldman Sachs up, Meta up, Netflix, god damn it, Netflix. NVIDIA, Palantir, Sprouts Farmers Market, and y'all know we added, what you called it, a couple weeks ago in the buy and hold. Had a little rally, but lost that. I'm all right with that. That ain't gonna do nothing, because I think we got 100 shares right there. Sean, we was up 25% year to date. We up 22%, Sean. We're up 22%. Here's my deal. Sean, next time, why I don't get rid of AJG and Sprouts Smart? I'm not getting rid of it right now, Sean. I'm not getting rid of it. AJG, Sprouts Farmers Market, Sean, I'm not getting rid of it until they turn, I feel they're gonna turn green by the year. Now, what I will do, I might add gold. I might add gold. You know, 12 is my max. 12 is my max. So I got 11 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I feel like I'm going to go with gold, Sean. To close out, finish the year strong, bro. Close out, I got $131,000 in cash, Sean. Might go with gold. Might go with gold. Anyway, you got to show you all the money, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got to finish the year strong. We're going to finish the year strong. So that's what we got right now, man. Got to show you all the money. Got to show you all what we doing. Let's move on, man. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Sean shaking his head at me like, bruh, we told you 2 months ago get out them 2 plays, bruh. Hard head make a soft ass. My grandma always told me that. Anyway, let's get going, man. Let's get going.
All right, so we talking about that, talking about Trump putting his family in position, listening to his younger son. I know a lot of people say about Bitcoin and hear about Bitcoin, so let me do this right quick. Let's run this video right quick about Bitcoin that I think will be really important for us to see.
Bitcoin is the largest and most important cryptocurrency. It was the first successful cryptocurrency and is the reason why crypto is what it is today. Bitcoin lets you send money directly to others without banks or governments. It's secured by blockchain technology. Every transaction gets recorded and encrypted so no one can change it. Now you might be wondering, if it's just a digital currency, why does the price keep going up? Simple. Bitcoin has a fixed supply, meaning there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, making it scarce like gold. That's why people are calling it digital gold. Governments can print unlimited money, but nobody can create more Bitcoin. As more people want it, but supply stays fixed, price goes up, and we're still early. Only about 4% of people own Bitcoin. And as that number grows, those 21 million Bitcoin become even more valuable. The question isn't whether Bitcoin will keep going up, it's whether you'll get in before everyone else figures it out.
So that's just a basic idea of what Bitcoin really is. And for me, I own a lot of it, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Again, my guy Chris was like, yo, I'm challenging you to own 10s. I'm like, God dang, dog. And I see it, and so, I'm buying it. So I'm still learning about it. I'm still digging into it. But let's go a little further. Let's show him this right quick, Jose. Let's talk about what Trump has done with it. Right? Let's talk about what Trump has done. So watch this. President Trump emerges as one of the world's largest Bitcoin holders. President Trump now ranks among the largest Bitcoin holders worldwide with an estimated 870 million in Bitcoin. He indirectly through his 41% stake in Trump Media and Technology Group. Think about that. Media and Technology Group. Watch this. Media and Technology Group. Media and Technology Group. Media, why? Because media gives you a voice to go direct to consumer. Okay, let's even think about this for a second. The richest people in the world right now own what? Media technology. Think about it. Elon Musk, richest man in the world. What does he own? Media. X-Media, Twitter, what we know it as, or X now, and what else does he own? Technology, because we know that Tesla is not just a car company. Media, technology. Media allows him to do what? Say what he wants without having to worry about what? Being on any news channel, anything. And a study came out that showed right now, Twitter is the most engaged with and watched media outlet. When it comes to news. When it comes to news in the moment, it ain't even much Instagram or YouTube. It's Twitter. Why? Because it's in real time. The news is actually late.
Yep.
Media, and then what else? Technology. Tesla. He's out of space with the satellites. He's the Neuralink. He the one trying to really put chips in you. Believe it or not, he the one trying to put the chip in you. He the one saying, hey, put the chip in their brain. Put the chip in their palm. He the one. Okay, let's go a little further. Jeff Bezos. Media, technology. He went even a little step further because he went got into medical. Media, Washington Post. He bought that for a reason. This is what controls the masses. The Washington Post is one of the biggest papers in the world. It's one of the biggest paper news outlets in the world, the Washington Post. He bought that. Why? Media. I can then inflict my ideas, my philosophy. I can talk about whatever politician I want, whatever politician I don't want. Why? I owned it. Media, technology. Technology is Amazon. Amazon now has is going to lay off 600,000 people. It also has 1 million robots. They have more robots in Amazon than people. Okay. They got more robots working in Amazon now than people. Let's go a little further. Now he got One Medical that is now attached to Whole Foods. So Jeff doing it in a big way because now he got the food with Whole Foods. You know he owned that. He got Washington Post media. He got technology when it comes to, watch this, AWS. What is AWS? The world's biggest web service that just had everybody couldn't use their Robinhood the other day, which had not just Robinhood, but all kind of other platforms shut down. Because then you realize, damn, all these platforms are on AWS? Of course they are. Media, technology. He went further and got into healthcare. And now he invested into EVs. Let's go a little further. Mark Zuckerberg, media, technology. Do we see the theme here? Media. Instagram has more users than any app in the world. Not just Instagram, but the whole Meta universe. So it's Meta, it's WhatsApp, it's Facebook, it's Messenger. Technology. What did he do then? Now we got what? The Meta glasses. This ain't them, but the Meta glasses. Media. Technology. This is what happened.
They're going to have the Tom Ford Meta joints soon.
Huh?
They're going to have the Tom Ford Meta joints soon.
Nah,
Wow.
Tom ain't messing with that.
You're going to walk in there and be like, no, they
Tom
got
ain't
the...
messing with that. Tom just saw that coming for $2 billion. He good. He's straight. But we see what's happening here. And then you got Donald Trump. Media, technology. Think about this. Oracle, Larry Ellison. Media, technology. How, Trap? Oracle is technology. Oracle is the cloud provider that provides for who? TikTok. With the new deal with the US, he also becomes the partner with TikTok. Media, technology. I just want you to see the theme here. I just want you to see the theme here. And so once we understand how they playing the game, then you know what we supposed to do? We supposed to sit back and say, okay, success leave clues and wealth shows us what they doing. So we supposed to be doing the same thing. Media, technology. Trap, way to make my first investment at? Well, media, technology. Let's go a little further, man. All right, so what I want to do right quick is we supposed to go straight to the chart, y'all. So, but I want to do something right quick. Instead of going to the chart today, I want y'all to make an exception with me because I want to show something because what we do is we do what's called swing trading and we then get into leap options, right? And I think it's important that we understand what this cycle looks like. And so what I want to do is I put some notes together and we put this graphic together so people can understand these different phases. So let's go with phase one. So phase one is at the bottom. This is the accumulation phase, right? It is the oversold phase. And the way we talking about this is like, when we think about this is, we break down these phases because it's simple for us to understand not only the psychology of what it takes, but we can understand the anatomy of a cycle. So let's think about that. Like the psychology of what takes place from accumulation, demand, overbought, markup, markdown. Like these are the phases, right? But then there's psychology and then there's emotional distribution in that. Right, so meaning your mind puts off thoughts that your emotions make you press the button on the phone or on the computer. So what I want to do in this idea is help you navigate through the psychology and the emotional roller coaster that comes with the market, right? And so the first phase at the bottom, we're going to call that the accumulation phase, it's the oversold zone, right? This is what smart money, we think about institutions, we think about hedge funds and insiders, right? They are quietly buying while everyone else is fearful. Right? So this oversold. That's the the Februaries, the Marches. That was the Friday when Trump tweeted about that, right? So everything gets sold off. It becomes this oversold. And then when they just sell for a long period of time, where in your brain you looked at your portfolio one day and it's red, and then it's red for a couple, 3, 4 days in a row. This is that 5% pullback, that 10% pullback that turns into a 20%er that makes you say, I don't like this stock market stuff. It's that area, right? Well, think about this, where like prices can move sideways for a while in that range. The accumulation is when, while the market is there in that sell-off phase, the big dogs are now slowly buying shares. Think about it like this. They are accumulating, right? They're not buying it all at once because it wouldn't give them the opportunity to buy everything they want. So let's say in this phase, they may say, you know what? I want to buy 2 million shares of this at this price. I want to buy 2 million. I want to buy what's available at this price. And while everybody is thinking, hey, man, I need to get out of here, the big dogs are thinking, this is a perfect time to get my hands on these stocks for low, right? And so think about it from this perspective. Think about it like a garage sale, right? And everybody is buying, everybody who has the, watch this, the emotional and mental fortitude to buy right here, they're buying valuable assets for pennies on a dollar. Because everybody who own them in this moment, guess what? They just saying, I'm about to sell this. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. They got me in April. That's how I took the $1.5 million L. I'm like, bro, god damn. Here's why. Because everybody has a point where you say enough is. Everybody has a point where they just want. God, please heal. Everybody has a point where they just want to heal. And for me, it was 1.5. I was like, yo, I was just.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Some other time.
I really need this money, Nate.
I really need this money. I was in a bind. I was holding strong. Like, the 1 million didn't break. The 1.2, I said, 1.3. 1.5, I came back. Get up out of it. 1.5, it was a lot. It was a lot. Watch this. 3 days later, I said, this guy. I said, this guy. But I remember seeing it, and then I made $100,000 that day. Cause I jumped in like 3 plays, and I was just like, bro, this is preposterous. So that's that phase, right? But then the next phase is the markup phase that follows that, right? Because now what happens is prices are going up. Demand becomes more present than supply. So now what happens is as the demand goes up, people are now taking supply out of the market. So now this is when you see huge run-ups. The market now, in this phase, it runs out of sellers, or there's now more buyers in the market than sellers. Now remember, when you see that accumulation phase, know that the big dogs are buying. They're buying, and then somebody gets a whiff that there's buying, and then everybody buys, and then you see the market start to just run up consistently. Right? Prices break out of accumulation, right? This is where you enter the early market at. This is where you look for confirmation. You see the gap up, you look for confirmation. I see it, you go with your move. Because now what happens is the institutions start buying more. Because now what happens is they've accumulated what they wanted, but then watch this, price starts to run faster and they still got some money left that they're trying to fill. So one of the things you'll see here is it don't go straight up, it'll go straight up, then it'll come down a little bit more, and then it'll go back up. Because what happens? They take a little break, Sellers step in, but what happens is, again, the demand for stocks is greater than the supply. So now everybody is now doing what? Selling something they're buying for a higher price. So now this is where the day traders come in really good, because what they doing is they day trading. So now they putting stuff in the market, somebody is buying it. They putting stuff in the market, somebody's buying it. They selling it, somebody's buying it. And now the price keeps going up. And that's all across the board, because in order for price to go up, somebody got to sell something. But also what happens is you have sellers that are in the market that are trapped. And now they under so much pressure now because they were thinking the oversold was going to keep going on. And now they have to sell because they're getting squeezed. And so when they sell, we buy. And now those buys push the market up even more. Come on. We cooking like church's chicken right now. And then so the psychology behind that is the retailers start seeing the uptrend. They're like, hey, this is my time to buy. And that's also when the FOMO kicks in, the fear of missing out. Because who wants to miss a good uptrend? Who wants to miss a good bullish engulfing pattern? Who wants to miss when they look on their chart and they see that huge green candle? Nobody wants to miss that. That's the psychology. But at that point, I want you to understand something. The smart money is already deep in profit, and they're riding the wave that they're creating. And so I want you to think about it like this from my perspective. Think about like a concert that's getting really popular. That's popping. And in the beginning, there's a few people. But then everybody starts talking about, bro, that's a vibe. Bro, that boy do a good show. She do a good show. And then as tickets start to sell out, the buzz is gone, but now the value. So now what happens is, now you get the people that buy the tickets for a low price and then sell it to you on hubs, whether they're StubHub and these other outlets for a higher price. That's because what? The demand is greater than the what? Supply. And then so once we go through that, then we go through what's called the distribution phase. Right? And so this happens when prices have reached new highs and then they slowly start moving sideways. And then you might start seeing some lower highs take place. So now smart money is saying we done made enough money. Now, this is where liquidity sweeps come in at. This is where bull traps come in at. So now what happens is the smart money starts to sell because they've got their profit. Now they want to take some profit. The supply is quietly building up while retailers are still doing what? Chasing the what? Demand. So now as a retailer, you thinking that this is another what? Sideways movement. You thinking it's about to go up some more. But really, they are slowly doing what? I got 3 for 5. I got 2 for 10. Come on. I got flippers. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Man, you don't know nothing about that.
Look what that is, bro. So that's what happened. So now this is how what? So watch this. In the markup, you saw sellers get trapped. In the distribution, in the markdown, this is where buyers get trapped. So in this phase of the distribution area, I want you to think about all this. Retailers are finally getting in, but things are slowing down. Smart money is saying, thank you. Because why? The market always needs more money. So the market feels strong, but internally it's really weakening. And watch this, here's a key indicator. The volume is slowly telling us that selling pressure is picking up. Right? So then we get to what's called the markdown. And so right here, supply then becomes greater than the demand. Why? Because now everybody wants to take profit. Everybody has made their money. So now what happens is the buyers are trapped in an uptrend. And now as the market starts to come down, they are pressured to do one or two things. Either hold on for dear life and be able to, watch this, either average down in the play, or sell that play. And that selling pressure now becomes what? Fuel that pushes the market down. And this is a cycle all the way around. Late buyers get trapped, panic sellers begin. Now the emotion causes FOMO. People are driven by fear, and now fear puts them in a situation where they get trapped, and now you're selling for a loss. The smart money is out. The retail investor saying, what happened? Trump made a tweet. And so now you got to think about this part of it as a party that is ending. The lights done come on. Everybody rushes to leave. But the ones who late, they the ones get stuck cleaning up. Come on, Jose. Man, I just got here. Yeah, get that broom, dog. What? Yeah, I haven't picked this. It's over. Lights out. Confetti done fell. You like, dang, I done missed the party. Right? So I want you to just look at it from that perspective. Accumulation is quiet buying. Markup is riding a trend. Distribution is selling at the high. The markdown is a sell-off, and you got to be patiently waiting. So you got to understand that the market becomes a mirror of emotion. And if you want to trade like a real professional, learn to trade learn to trade with the trend, not opposite of it. And your goal is to be on time for the party, never late. Ooh. Your goal is to be on time for the party, never late. So if the party starts at 7, you got to 8 o'clock to be there. If you get there at 10:30, you're done. The good drink is gone. I don't drink no more. Pretty girls going home because they know what? It's too late. Don't nothing good happen this late at night. They gone. Now you there with the people assigned to clean up. Now you got a hefty Ziploc, a hefty bag in your hand. You got, and guess what? They gone. Party's over. Now you hearing the stories about the party from the people around. I.e., man, I made this much money. Man, I made this. Now you looking at the screenshots on Instagram, or you looking at the screenshots, whatever group you in, and now guess what happened? You get thirsty to make some money. You know the party over. Now you start guessing. Oh, we on the roll right now. Now you start guessing. You just throwing money in the market. Now you on a hope and a prayer because you on a screenshot too. Oh, man. I'm telling you how I go, bro. Instead of saying, hey, I missed that one, I'm going to catch the next one. Because guess what? The cycle will consistently repeat itself. So instead of me getting in a chart today, I thought it was imperative that we showed this right here.
What's up, Trap? Thank you and the team for working hard every day to help the community. This month, October, is my 2-year anniversary joining Patreon. I joined the Patreon October 23rd, 2023. Been job-free for 2 years now. Portfolio gained 620%. Super excited. A little bit about my background for a new Patreon member. For motivation, I was homeless. I used my card to sleep for 8 months. Signed up with Planet Fitness, paying $25 a month for restroom, shower access. During my off day, rolling in the mall, parking my car under the tree. I was studying the Option Master Class course. The night that I got the course, I could not sleep until 4 a.m. in the morning, even though I had to work 7 a.m. tomorrow. So if I can do it, you can do it. Trap, my question is, with the Fed on track to cut October and December going to 2026, what year in the past are you looking at to see how can we learn and be prepared in a similar situation for this year going to 2026? Thank you so much.
Nah, shout out to my guy Long Lee, man. It was a great question.
That's a powerful story too, bro.
I just think that, he's one of those ones in the group, dog, like, I can't wait to see him for the Trapper family reunion, bro. Like, there's certain people who I know, like, they showed their progress the whole way. They was like, bro, this changed me. Bro, this... You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Patreon members, man. Shout out to Long Lee. And one of the things about him, bro, like, we watched him grow that portfolio to over 6 figures, right? Not only that, we watched him in a 2-year time frame fly back home and retire his mama. From the market, we watched him put up videos and be like, hey, y'all, this is me in the parking lot eating the Subway, like he posted them in the group and we just like, hey, and what happens is, bro, like, there's a commitment. And I say this to people all the time, bro, like, you gotta treat the game like it's gonna change your life so it can change your life, right? Like, and what that means is, bro, like, you gotta be all in. Not all in on trap. You gotta be all in on you. Like, bro, I'm all in on, I'm gonna get the information from this dude and I'm gonna see what he teach and I'm gonna rock out with it, bro. And it's whoever it is, whoever you looking at. But, bro, like, man, I salute that dude, bro. And he's been in every call, bro. 2 years, bro. He don't miss. So, Long, shout out to you, bro. I think more than anything, not just looking at a specific year, looking at the sentiment of what's going on right now. Like, okay, what happens when the Fed starts to cut rates? So when the Fed starts to cut rates, we get inside of, let me even back up a little bit more so. Like, so now this is why, of course, gold had a pullback today, but one of the reasons why you saw gold running so much is because we were in a situation where the smart money understands that free money is about to become available. And we also heard the Federal Reserve Chairman say, hey, we talked about this a million times, the economy is strong, but it's weak at the bottom half, right? And we've also heard the Federal Reserve say that, they're about to stop the tightening, which means the Fed can also start buying. They might start buying assets and putting money into the market, right? Which is gonna make the market more liquid. And what might happen is you'll see money getting cheaper, especially we're gonna have a cut and there's 3 cuts that's on the table. There's a cut in October 29th. There's a cut in December, and then there's also a 72% chance we get a cut in the first part of next year, which means we'll get 3 cuts going into the new year, which means money gets really, really cheaper, which means not you and me, but the wealthy 1% of the world can now get money at a cheaper price to do what? Fund small cap business. So you'll see the Russell start to running, the Russell 2000 start running. Why? Because those are small cap business. You'll see what? More companies may go IPO when the money gets cheaper. Why? Because they can fuel growth. Anytime you can fuel growth, that's what happens. But also what happens to us is your dollar starts to lose value. So it is essential now for you to be in more assets. Why? Because assets is the thing that help you keep up with the inflation that's on the fiat money. So because your money loses in purchasing power, you got to do something that gives you that power back. And that's investing in the market. That's learning how to trade. Those are the things that give you more money. Those are the things that give your money more purchasing power. So more than anything, Long, what I'm looking at is, I'm looking at what's on the table right now, and I'm saying, hey, we may be in a position where we get 3 cuts. That means our money has lost that much money, which means the debasement trade is now in play. And what is the debasement trade? The debasement trade is you got to now swap out an asset class for an asset class. So you got to swap out the dollar for an asset class that helps you make money, that helps offset the loss of value in your dollar. Right, so you got to swap out the dollar for crypto. You got to swap out the dollar for stocks. You got to swap out the dollar for precious metals. You got to swap out the dollar for trading. That's the debasement trade. So we see a debasement trade actually taking place. Again, yes, you see gold and silver coming down. Well, why is this happening? Well, look at gold and silver. They've been outperforming the market by a landslide all year, right? And gold and silver has actually outperformed the market a few years in a row. So we see a debasement trade happening. We see smart people saying, all right, let me find safety in gold. Let me find safety in silver, but also now let me take risk with stocks. Why? Because these offset the dollar. And we see the dollar, consistently losing value. I think this year alone, it lost another 21%. So because we see the dollar consistently losing value, now you got to say, hey, I got to buy more money. watch this. I got to use money to buy money. Oh my God. I got to use money to buy money. Why is that? Because if I don't use money to buy money, then that puts me in a situation to be poor. Well, how come I become poor? Because now we know wages not going up, but we know rent is. We know now cost of milk is, eggs is, gas is, everything going up. So the same dollar that bought something now, watch this, the same dollar that bought something in October can't buy the same thing in January next year because it lost value. So for me, Long, that's kind of what I'm looking at, bro. I'm looking at that from that situation as how do we capitalize off what we see in front of us. Great trade, brother.
What's up, Trap? What's up, Jose? Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it. Shout out to the night crew and all my good people there. I just had a question. When you made your first trade, how did you build that confidence to not chart and like check the stock constantly to see movement and all that? I kind of have trouble doing that because I have so much free time during the day. I'm constantly looking at numbers. I know I shouldn't be doing that, if I made the right trade and for the right reasons. And the second part of my question is, how did you adjust over time, like your rules and formulas that you use? As time went on, I kind of find myself kind of tweaking stuff constantly, I guess to try to find what works for me. How did you find what works for you? Thanks for taking my call, Trey.
Man, shout out to my family, man. That's the night crew, that night crew, the Patreon. You heard me? They go crazy over there. I feel like trading is a ongoing process, right? So one, you never stop learning. And two, you always looking to refine what you're doing, right? You always looking to make what you're doing better. And so if you're not doing that, you're actually becoming a worse trader. And the reason why I say that is because you got to realize the market is always doing something. And so for you, I don't see nothing wrong with what you're doing. I'm being honest with you because you still learning. Y'all saw me pick up charts from April to now, and y'all know we going crazy with them, right? But guess what, y'all? I'm still learning. I'm not at all saying, man, I know it all, right? I'm always trying to get better at my candle communication. I'm always trying to I was telling Sean this the other day. We was looking at Netflix, and I said, Sean, once it hit this zone right here, bro, I think that bit gonna hit up. And it did it. And Sean looked at it. I said, bro, I'm telling you, I'm locked in. You know what I'm saying? And so you start, watch this, you start realizing what you're really good at identifying, right? Think about it like this. I'm going to use this. Ladies, don't take this against me because I can use it in this situation too. Think about, fellas, think about the type of woman that you really like, right? What are the attributes, right? So for me, she got to love God. She got to be good with her family. She got to know how to cook. How much money she make don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have money. I'm a provider. God done bless me. I'm going to get money. That's my job. Like, now, if you can help in that, that's cool. But what's your internal spirit like? Do you got a great smile? Can you make me laugh? Can you comfort me? How are you with kids? Because I got a daughter already. So now, because I understand that, I start identifying that early. You know what I'm saying? And so, ladies, same thing. Like, what do you like? What are the things that you like in a man? Right? Because that's how you look at the chart. What is the thing that I need to see before I find this trade attractive? Oh my God. Oh, Sean, how you feel? Come on, Sean. I saw you with the. Right? So what is the thing that I need to see, watch this, before I find this trade attractive? Now watch this. Before you understand what it is that you need to see in a person that you start building up your rules and what you like, you got to date a lot of them. You got to date some bad ones to realize that ain't what I like. You got to say, oh, she got a pretty face, but boy, every time I see her, bro, she gossiping. Why is she always mad? Why is she always down and everything? Why she don't support me? And then what happens is you start realizing, she got the look I want, but she don't got the energy I want. Nope, that ain't a good one. That one ain't worth my time. She may be good for somebody else, but not for me. Ladies, you may say, you know what? He's a working man, but he get angry fast. That's a red flag. You know, he's not supportive. He don't make me laugh. He got everything, but he ain't a man of God. Maybe a red flag. So what you start realizing is, you start looking at the trades and you start saying, what are the things, and you got to identify two things. What are the things that make this trade attractive, and what are the red flags in this trade? So you may say it's an uptrend, but they ain't got no volume. I'm good. It's an uptrend, but that's a dang on shooting star right there, bro. It's an uptrend, but that's an engulfing candle right there. It might be coming down. It's an uptrend, but man, it's right there by them 2 wicks, and that's a liquidity grab. So that's a double top. It's a good, but that's a double top forming right there. That's a double bottom forming. That's a bull flag right there. I seen this before. I know your time. I know your type. So that's what it is. So you got to go through some good ones to realize what you really like, and then you got to go through some bad ones that say, that ain't my type. And then what happens is, once you get the eye, this is what people take this for granted so much. There'll come a point where you just get the eye. There'll come a point where you can just look and say, yep, you'll get the eye where you can zoom out and be like, break a structure right here. Oh, I see where they need to go. Me and Sean was looking at the trade the other day. I said, Sean, if it break the structure, we good. It broke it. I said, we good. Then we watched it go all to the high. Look what we said together. I said, ooh, it rejected this number right here, which was a previous all-time high it was a previous high in an internal trend, meaning it had already fell down. It had hit this internal high and fell back down, and it was back at it again. And I said, Sean, if it can't cross this, it's gonna probably sell off again a little bit. Not a lot, but it'll probably sell off again. We see they got a lot of momentum going, but it done reached this number, so it may sell off a little bit. We looked at it and it starts selling off a little bit. I said, it's the perfect time to take some profit. So it's just being able to, the thing is to not try to do too much. That's one of the other biggest issues is, you know the journey you on, and then you get information overload, and then the information overload makes you forget what you're doing because you didn't try to learn what that person knows instead of saying, nope, I got that, but let me put that over here. Let me keep learning this market structure right here. And then in this market structure, I'm going to learn support resistance. I'm going to learn breaker structures. I'm going to learn liquidities, and I'm going to learn supply demand zones. If I learn that, I'm good right now, right? And then you start learning higher, lower, lows. All right, cool. And then you say, you know what, let me now evolve a little bit more. Let me start drawing my trend lines now. Let me start drawing channels now. Let me start seeing if I can identify what a wedge look like. And then you evolve a little more. You say, you know what? Let me start using this Fibonacci right now. And you evolve a little more. You say, you know what? Now let me start identifying bull flags and bear flags. And you evolve a little more. You say, hey, you know what? Now let me start shrinking my time frame a little, because now I understand about 7 different things. So now whatever happened on the 1 hour, I can see it on the 15-minute too. Right, so that's how you evolve. Instead of trying to do it, watch this, all at one time. I keep saying this. I would rather you read 1 book 10 times than to read 10 books 1 time. Because if you read the 1 book 10 times, you're going to see things the second time you missed the first time. You're going to see things the third time you didn't get the first or the second time, and the third time you had an aha moment. And then read it the 5th time, now you got so many marks in the book. Now you're just looking at the stuff you marked out so you can now make it an imprint in what you're doing. And then the 5th time you read, but you know what? You ain't gonna get to the 5th time because now you feel like, I done read this book too many times, but the 5th time you might unlock so much. So I'd rather you read 1 book 10 times than read 10 books 1 time. Because with the 10 books 1 time, you're gonna have overlapping information. This is gonna be good, you forgot that. And my thing to do is when I'm reading, I also like to write. And if I really, really like it, I'm gonna get an Audible too. That's how you learn. That's how I learn. So I think that's what it is for me, bro. Just consistently, evolving. And when it comes to the confidence, bro, like, my thing was always, it's gonna work or it's gonna work. It don't got no choice but to work. Because this is where we at with it. So, good question, brother. All right, man, let's go a little further, man. Let's go a little further. So look at this, man. So this is powerful right here, man. Let's think about something. So the S&P 500, it's up big, y'all. Well, not big, but it's up. But what we do notice is that the Magnificent Seven drove nearly half of the bull market gain. Look at this. Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, Meta, Tesla. Look at that. And then all the others. Think about that, y'all. Think about that. And it goes back to something we talked about earlier. And then I'm going to add a Mag 10 in there, because once you add in, Palantir, you can go AVG or Oracle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a big dog. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just feel like there is no market without tech, man. All that, the market rotating, and man, there ain't no market without tech. And it's been like that for the last few years. And I think as long as we in tech, you should be in techs. And I said it, tech, I'm saying techs. Tech, industrials, finance. That's my big three. Tech, industrials, finances. That's my big three. That's what we need to be at. Let's go a little further, man. All right, so watch this, man. JP Morgan 10-year return. Also, I want to say something too, Jose. They playing, bro. But watch this. We called for 6,800 this year. We at 6,740. We called for 6,800 this year. We hit 6,800, bro. Hey, I need that clip made. I need that clip. When we go back and find it, hey, I think we'll hit 6,800 this year. We need to put it out.
We got that all day.
We just needed to touch it. We needed to just touch 6,800, and we right. Because the same way they got it with the Bitcoin, poo-ass Trump got elected, and that thing ran from 60 to 105. I said, bro, from November to January. Anyway, let's go to that first, man. So JP Morgan has a 10-year return expectations with world equity 7%, U.S. large cap 6.7%, Euro large cap 7.8%, Euro area large cap 7.8%, Japanese equity 8.8%, emerging equities 7.8%, U.S. aggregated bonds, it's the fixed income 4.8%, U.S. high yield bonds, fixed income 6.1%. And watch this, the lowest on the list is cash. So cash is always a bad investment, y'all. No matter what you have, cash is always a bad investment. It's never a real good investment. Money should be used as a tool to move us forward. Money should be used as a tool to move us forward, right? Because when we looking at money as a holding, when we looking at money as an investment, we should be looking at money as just a means to help us acquire real assets. Now, what I am interested in looking at as the Japanese equities at the highest, I'm real interested in that. Emerging markets, I will say 7.8%, that's good, right? But I am interested in seeing how that looks out, Jose. Let's go a little further, man. All right, so let's look at this. This is gonna be critical for us, right? So this is not a laughing matter. I think this is key. I think this is essential. So 42 million people at risk of losing their food stamp, SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. 42 million people at losing this. Benefits already halted in Pennsylvania. Government shutdown in play. I think for me, man, this is not a laughing matter, but nothing is.
But I will say this is the early signs. If you allow them to feed you, you give them permission to starve you, bro. You know, there's a saying that's been saying, like, Social Security gonna run empty by 2035 or 2042 right there. And people keep saying, man, that ain't gonna happen. And my thing is, are we not paying attention to the debt in America? Are we not paying attention to, at some point, there may be a generation that says, yo, you don't even get Social Security. We are not far from entering a generation that will say, hey, you don't even get Social Security. We don't even provide that no more. That's not far-fetched, Jose. We don't got no money. And this is why I want us to really use the market to buy assets, bro. Like, bro, when the market drop back on that, man, be like, got him. Be happy about that. Don't be fearful about it, because this puts us in position. So think about it. People losing jobs. Government can't get along. And the thing about it is the jobs don't come back. The jobs don't come back, just like the prices don't come back. Because once a company can realize we can make more money without having all them people, and then we can make the upfront investment on robots, those jobs don't come back. I think we had a clip from a couple weeks ago about the plumbers and the electricians. And then now we seeing people say, we had the clip maybe like 3 weeks ago. I just ain't never put it out. I don't know why. But we had the clip talking about, you know, the next generation of millionaires and stuff is going to be plumbers and electricians. You know why? Because they ain't figured out yet how to put robots there yet. Right? They ain't figured how to make, I don't think they figured out how to make the waterproof ones yet, right?
They're going to try, but yeah.
Yeah. And then Ginseng Wine came out and said, skilled trades people such as electrician, plumbers, and carpenters. Jesus was a carpenter. Could be the true winners in the AI race. More than software engineers.
Yo, that's crazy that he said that.
And watch
the
this.
writing is on the wall.
We had a generation of people that was saying, hey, we gonna be software engineers. Now, that god dang on thing is useless.
Prompt technicians.
That's what you is now. How good can you put words in the prompt?
And the crazy part, chat will write your prompt for you.
Bro, you can ask the chat to rewrite the prompt.
Right.
Hey, rewrite this prompt to reframe it to you to make it better so you can give me the best reply.
It's gonna get to the point, chat be like, hold on, I don't even need you.
You think it ain't? Elon Musk told us that when he was smoking weed on Joe Rogan podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He said, my biggest fear, that's my first time ever playing a put. That's my story. That's my first time ever playing a put. I had no idea what a put was until I did that. And that was my first time ever making like 14 grand to 25 grand. And I was like, yo, he on Joe Rogan smoking the weed. And he said, I have been telling them to slow down on AI because we're going to get into the world where we're going to feed it so much information the robot don't need us no more. And bro, the first thing I thought about, Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I thought about. Are you Sarah O'Connor? And what he said, in the future, he came back and said, hey, this man against cyborg. And then he made me think about something. This telephone makes us a cyborg.
Yep.
We are a walking cyborg with this phone. There are some people, and I'm gonna be real with you, bro. At one point in time, I was addicted to waking up looking straight at the phone.
Really?
Nigga, not talking to God, not doing, that's going on right now.
People walk down the street now.
I said, man, I'm tripping, man. And I had to get off that. I had to start putting the phone on the other side where I could just hit the alarm. All right, go press the alarm. Nope, I'm good. This morning I did it. I got up. For some reason, I was telling you I couldn't sleep. I got up, bro. My girl was asleep. I pressed the alarm. I left the phone up there by her. And I went and got in the sauna, read my book. Because the more you keep it around you, the more you gonna wanna look at it.
Me. No. That's where your, watch this. That's where your ADD coming from. You don't really got the ADD. You got the addiction to the phone. You got the addiction to the ping. You got an addiction. You got to feel like you got to answer every text. Now, you done made the post already. Why you keep checking to see who commented?
Mm-hmm.
You made the post. Why you keep checking to see who commented on the post? And now you wonder why your business struggling. Now you wonder why you can't learn how to trade. You keep saying you don't got time, but I guarantee you, if you accumulate all the time that you be on this phone in the day doing things that are not productive to you, accomplishing your goal, you just found another hour or two in the day. I promise you that. So, you know what's crazy, George? I was thinking about something the other day, bro. I was thinking about, I'm glad I don't do ironwork right now. Because we had just, the phones had just, they wasn't addictive as they were now. And we was on them then. Now? Oh, boy, somebody gonna get killed out there, man. Somebody gonna get killed out there now. I can see a nigga now doing TikTok dance on the job. Huh? Oh, boy, what? Boy, niggas done forgot. Got a whole 4-ton beam coming at you like, hey, y'all, check this out. You heard my about bing? Bro, this is crazy. All right, let's go a little further, man.
Got this 1-ounce gold bar from Costco for $23.59. Yes, that's right. Costco even sells gold bars. I filled out the merchandise pickup slip, brought it to checkout, and then just waited anxiously until an employee brought it to me. I was pleasantly surprised to see the inconspicuous packaging, because you probably don't really want people knowing you're walking around with a gold bar. Once I brought it home to unbox, I realized just how beautiful it was. Now, there are a few legitimate reasons I bought this. Number one, the spot price of gold is $23.36, which means I did pay a small premium to own this gold bar. I also did get $23.59 credit card points, so I think that kind of evens out. Second, I think this gold bar will hold its value, so I don't really think I spent $23.59. I more just converted one currency to another. And third, I can technically write it off as a financial content creator making content about it, but I don't think I will because of the tax implications when I sell it. I can make a future video about that.
That was a bar, though. He said, I turn one currency to another.
We just talked about that.
Yeah.
We just talked about it.
Yeah.
Watch this. When he originally made this video, the Costco gold bar was $23.59 in April. It now sells for $4,200. Now, mind you, when I was telling y'all buy gold, it was about $1,100. And when I told you at $1,600, and then I told you at $1,900. And here we are at $4,200. And you asking me, should I still buy gold? My question to you is, has America reduced its debt? You should be buying gold. Let's go a little further, man. So today, gold tumbles 5%, biggest sell-off since 2020. After reaching a high of $42.81 per ounce on Monday, gold prices sank 5% to $41.25 on Tuesday. As the year's record-breaking bullion rally went abruptly into reverse at the end of the gold buying session. Gold surges have fueled by investors concerned about growing government debt levels, the wealth of the U.S. dollar, the health of the U.S. dollar, and a dash for safe havens sparked by Donald Trump's trade war. The biggest driver behind gold's rise this year has been demand from central banks, which are buying gold to diversify their holdings away from the dollar. This is called the dollar, the disattachment of the dollar. Right? So as the dollar, and so this is why I say, and I'll say this again. That 5% sell-off is to get y'all out of there. That 5% sell-off is to just get you out of there. It may even go to 4,000. May go to a little under 41. But guess what? It be back. It'd be back because, why would it be back, y'all? Well, it'd be back because the dollar is still losing value. Has anything changed financially, fundamentally? Nope. So that tells us for a fact it'd be back. So am I worried? Not one bit. Should you be worried? Not one bit. That's how I feel. Let's go a little further, man. All right, here we go. The power of $100 over 100 years. How inflation affected the value of $100 over 100 years. $100 in 2002 is equivalent to $1,800 in 1924. Golly. $100 in 2025 is equivalent to $1,800 in 1924. But that made me take these glasses off. $100 in 2025 is equivalent to $1,800, $1,836 in 1924. If you travel back in time 100 years, a $100 bill could buy you $1,836 worth of stuff. Let's just go back in something we can remember. 2015, $100 bought you $136 worth of stuff. Let's just go back to 1995. $100 bought you $211 worth of stuff. Watch this. There'll be a point where $100 only buys you $20 worth of stuff. And here's the thing. By the looks of this, you talking about we lose about $30 every 10 years of purchasing power. So that means about 2035, $100 will buy you about $70 worth of stuff. And at the way everything moving right now, it might accelerate to a point where $100 only buy you $50 worth of stuff. Because look at that fall from 1965 to 1975. That's a big fall. That's a big fall. So we looking at a point where 2035, and here's the crazy part, that ain't that far. Bro, 10 years ain't that far. George, watch this. It was in 2014, 2015 when I told you we was gonna do this. $10 years. And your mom out. That was 2014, 2015. Let's go a little further, man. All right. Wall Street Trapper of the Week, certified trapper of the week is none other than Frederick Douglass. After escaping from slavery in Maryland in 1838, Frederick Douglass became the leader, national leader of the abolitionist movement in Massachusetts and New York, and gained fame for his glorious and incisive anti-slavery writings. Accordingly, he was described by abolitionists in his time as a living counter-example to claims by supporters of slavery that enslaved people backed the intellectual capacity to function as independent American citizens. Northerners at the time found it hard to believe that such a great orator had once been enslaved. It was a response to his disbelief that Douglass wrote his first autobiography. Let's go a little further.
Famed author Frederick Douglass worked tirelessly as an abolitionist and an advocate for equal rights.
You can't talk about the history of civil rights in this country without talking about Frederick Douglass. Long before Dr. King, the civil rights movement, here's a man who was talking about basic dignity for people in this country.
Born into slavery in Talbot County, Maryland, around 1818, Frederick Douglass became educated first through his master's wife and eventually on his own. Douglass escaped slavery in 1838 by fleeing to New York and became a preacher the following year.
Certainly, during Douglass's time, literacy for Africans was absolutely forbidden. In fact, it was very clear that once Africans could read and write, many wrote their own passes, which allowed them to move from place to place, and obviously this was disruptive to a very repressive system.
After his anti-slavery lectures caught the attention of William Lloyd Garrison, the editor of the abolitionist paper, The Liberator, Douglass began touring the United States as a speaker with the American Anti-Slavery Society.
Many whites refused to believe that Frederick Douglass had ever been a slave because he was so obviously intelligent, he was such a powerful speaker.
In 1845, Douglass wrote and published his first autobiography entitled Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. Although the book was a U.S. bestseller, Douglass was forced to live in Europe for 2 years to evade recapture. He ultimately purchased his freedom in 1847.
People were shocked about Frederick Douglass, an ex-slave, writing his autobiography, and it was so poignant, and it was such a bird's-eye view of what was going on the plantation. He put it in very plain language, and it was just a powerful testimony of why slavery needed to end in our country.
Douglass became the only African American to attend the first Women's Rights Convention in 1848, and by 1861, Douglass was famous nationwide, advising both President Lincoln and Johnson on the welfare of African Americans.
By any measure, Frederick Douglass was a real American hero. He was a public intellectual, he was a statesman, he was an activist, and his life and his political commitment were dedicated to human rights, not just to civil rights or to the end of slavery.
During his lifetime, Douglass was U.S. Ambassador to the Dominican Republic, and in 1872 he became the first African American to appear on a presidential ballot when he was nominated as vice president. Frederick Douglass died on February 20th, 1895 from natural causes.
We gotta love a good Frederick Douglass story. One of the most brilliant minds of our time. That's your cousin? Wow. Oh, okay. His first name was Bailey? Does that mean he your cousin, though?
He tried to call you Dr. Umar. You know, Dr. Umar said, I'm Douglas, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Got everybody bloodline in it, you heard?
They black, I'm related.
I think this tells us a lot about, how we be looked at as society. So a lot of times that still goes on. They don't think that we can overcome and have the bandwidth. And I even get it. People are like, who taught you this? Like, nobody ain't taught. I taught myself this. Somebody told me about it, and then I locked in. I had to tell people that all the time. People be like, the dude in prison. I'd be like, no, he ain't teach me nothing. He just told me about it. And I took the initiative to start reading, start listening. I was like, a stock market, what? He ain't teach me the market. I've never said he sat down and taught me the market. I said he opened my mind to about wealthy people should do this, and you should own stocks first, then business, then real estate. And because he showed me the $2.8 million, it was the thing that made me say, oh, okay. So I started studying stocks. So don't let what you've been through define what you can accomplish. This is a prime example. Let's go a little further, man. All right. So, man, Apple stocks explodes, right? Apple been going crazy. All-time high from, at one time, it was the worst performer in a Mag 7. But, iPhone 17 crushes sales in China and the U.S. That wasn't something people were looking for, right? Apple stock surges as the iPhone 17 soars. Sales soar with demand increase across U.S. and China. Sales of the base model iPhone 17 nearly doubled in China compared to iPhone 16 during the same period. It ended with sales of the models rising 31% across 2 markets. A better chip, improved display, higher base, storage, selfie camera upgrade, all for the same price as last year's iPhone. Damn, I got mine a couple months too early. All right, Tim. All right. But Apple also doing something else. Let's go a little further. Right? Started in 2026, Formula One will shift exclusively on Apple TV in the U.S. under a new 5-year deal, meaning every Grand Prix, practice, qualifying, and sprint session will stream through Apple's platform. Let's go, Tim! Apple also plans to promote Formula One content across its ecosystem, Apple News, Map, wait a minute, technology and what? Media. Technology and what? Media. All right? Act like you know, right? For F1 content across its ecosystem, Apple News, Maps, Music, Sports, and Fitness, building on the success of F1 the movie, which grossed nearly $630 million, Nate, worldwide. Listen, come on, Tim. Get up out the doghouse, Tim. Apple stock is dead, keep the poverty away. Let's go, Tim. I like to see Apple win, dog. I ain't gonna lie. I like to see Apple win, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Because they be talking trash about it, bruh. And I'm going to just hold here sitting on 1,000 shares of it, and I'm just like, come on, Tim. I'm rooting for you, dog. I'm rooting for you, dog. So shout out to Tim Cook and the Apple. I think this was a big win for them. I think the iPhone 18 really going to be bigger than this one. I think they need that momentum to improve and get them out of the doghouse. So shout out to Tim Cook, man. All right, man, we've had an amazing show tonight, man. I think this was a great one. Hopefully, man, you learned a lot. Hopefully, I helped you a lot. I see y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, man, listen, make sure you get your apparel. Come on, man, we got to make George work. Get your apparel. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go download on all podcast platforms. That's Apple, Spotify, Google Play. Go download that, y'all. We appreciate that, man. Make sure you're looking at the Wallstreet Trapper YouTube and this YouTube right here. What I miss, Jose? Come join the Patreon. You was quiet this episode, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, we working,
You was kind of quiet this episode.
We working
you all right over there, bro?
When you working in the background, bro,
Man,
gotta make stuff
I ain't gonna
think.
lie, y'all. Jose was kind of, after we flushed, do you think we heard his feelings when we flushed him, y'all?
Nah, I'm good.
I think we heard his feeling when he flushed him so early. All right, y'all, we not gonna flush Jose so early. Shazam X, I see you, bruh. Shockwave, I see you, bruh. Frank Treyes, I see you, bruh. CJ, I see you, bruh. Hey, we gonna not flush Jose so early in the show, y'all. I think we heard his feelings, y'all. All right, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Same time, same place next week, man. Salute.